Hello again to another installment of the AP Podcast. I'm Andrew, and we're going to do another Advice with Andrew segment. And today we have a very special segment because today we're going to be talking to experts in their respective fields. And the first expert we're going to be bringing on is a doctor of astronomy from the Colorado University and Observatory. So, Dr. Smith, uh, John Smith, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Dr.
I'm doing
Smith,
very well. Very, very well. Saturn and Neptune are currently orbiting one another's planets, and that is a very good time for a lot of terrestrial people that are more light to the astrology field. So I'm doing very well. Thank you.
wonderful. So, Dr. Smith, this is an interesting time of the year. As you know, it's
Yeah, it is.
recently the start of spring, and I know that a lot of people that like watching stars are definitely going to be back into the forefront here as the weather warms up and we're able to have easier nights spending the night outside and gazing up into the stars. One
Yes,
of
the spring solstice is always a beautiful time of year. Beautiful time.
And one of the things you wanted to talk to us about was some of your advice on stargazing and getting involved with recognizing constellations and things you can do with your
Right,
friends to get
right,
involved.
right. Oh, right, right.
So let's talk about that. So the first one, just understanding and recognizing constellations. Do you have any tips or tricks on how to know Orion's
Right,
belt from
right,
Ursula's witch hazel, or I don't know what?
right. The first thing that any novice stargazer needs to do is realize how small we really are. The planet Earth is such a small little speck in the greater cosmos, in the multiverse, that in order to truly appreciate the size of the stars, is to really understand how insignificant you really are. So I always encourage my class, my freshman introduction to astrology. I always encourage them to write down on a sheet of paper, I am small, I am nothing. And I ask them to repeat that to themselves. Make that a mantra. I
I
am small, I am nothing. I am small, I am nothing.
I am
Because really
small.
we are very, yeah, you are small and I am nothing. I
I
am small and you are nothing. And
oh
it's very circular in the way that we say this over and over. And hopefully, by the end of this introduction course, the students really understand how small and insignificant their lives and who they love and who they hate and their jobs and their families, how really nothing they really are.
Interesting. And Doctor, one of the things from your pamphlet that I have here is discussing the goal of your semester-long study and class lecture series that you do, which is getting, like I said, getting your friends involved. And I hear you mentioned one of your mantras there, which was, "I am small,
I
you
am
are
small.
nothing."
I'm small. I am nothing.
Yeah, and then
That's right. That's right.
it also in the pamphlet here it discusses how for the semester final or one of the field trips is you actually do a stargazing event and you form a circle with your students and each student says part of the mantra and then it goes to the next one and then the next one and so forth.
Right.
Discuss
They're
that
called,
ceremony.
those are called Astro-Circles, and we get the 15 to 20 kids in the class, and then we'll start off, all right, Bill, you say I am small, and then, Janet, I am nothing, Kevin, I am small, and then we go around and we do that, and then slowly at the end of this 15-minute mantra, this is a 15-minute kind of a meditation, if you will. And
Sure.
then at the end of it, with our hands interlocked, we're all holding hands, and I'm always in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the Astro-Circle as well. And at the end of the 15 minutes, we start to feel kind of this easy, we feel very light, we feel very calm and peaceful. And then the smoke starts to rise from the center of this communal cauldron that I light at the beginning of the course, and
Uh,
we start Astro-Circle, and at the end of the night, all of us are very calm and at peace, and we are looking up at the sky, at the stars. We realize that we are nothing, and then by 5 a.m. the next morning, all of us are very sleepy, and then we all fall back, and this is a camping trip, and then the next day, I'm talking about the next day, so if we start on Friday night, we sleep during Saturday, and then Sunday we go back to campus, and we really realize that we are small and nothing, but we're calm about it. We're very peaceful.
Wow. That sounds like a really interesting experience, and one that you can only find with Dr. John Smith's lecture series and meditation.
Thank you.
And your series is called I Am Small, One and All. And
Yes, that is right. That is right.
and is this open to only enrolled students, or is there also a public version that goes on in the summer?
There's an abbreviated version that's about the same length as the regular version. It's an hour and 15-minute long podcast, sort of downloadable MP3. The clear version is given out to all the students that enroll, and then the public domain version has an audio sample loop running in the background that says "I am small, I am nothing," read by me, and it dipped down to about negative 50 decibels, so you can just barely hear it in the background, and it's actually very distracting for the public domain version.
So it kind of forces the people that want to really hear what you're saying. They have to actually take the class.
That's right.
And it also helps them with their meditation and focusing on one circular body of goodness.
That is right. That is so very right.
Well, Dr. John Smith, thank you for your time today. Dr. Smith is, again, an astronomer at the Colorado Observatory and University. Thanks for being on here.
That is right. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Smith, very interesting fellow indeed, and he encourages you, and I encourage you to, set aside a night or so every month and just look up at the stars and maybe have a little gathering, a circle with your friends, and maybe hold hands, maybe have a fire, and remember how small you are. I am small. You are. We're all nothing, or something like that. Or take the course as well if you live in the Colorado area. Let's go to the next expert. We're going to be speaking with Susan Tudmire, and she is a university professor here in Madison in the biological and medical research. And Doctor, how are you doing this evening?
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So,
there's a few things that I would like to talk about, but I would like to first ask you what you were thinking that this conversation would go through.
Well, sure. As I said, you are a doctor of biological medicine here at the University of Madison, and I wanted to talk to you about some of the more recent medical studies that you've been doing. To give the listeners a brief background on you,
Sure,
doctors.
Just this last week, the students and I in Madison, we successfully reproduced the technical term for it is we mated 2 different species of bullfrog, and it is currently the bullfrog is currently this new species. We are currently observing it for the psychoactive elements held within its olfactory gland.
Oh, so in the olfactory gland, that has to do with, well, that secretes certain things and smells.
Yes.
Okay, and so the purpose of this research is to get a better understanding of how that gland functions.
I could tell you all day about the breeding of different frogs and bullfrogs and toads. That is my specialty. I graduated with a reptilian degree from the University of Madison, and then I got my master's from Boston University.
And I just wanted to mention real quick, Doctor, that frogs and bullfrogs, those are amphibians. Is that?
That's right. And then I got my master's in amphibians
Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
So this
Hold
study,
on one second. And I could talk to you all day about it, but a lot of I could show you perhaps is probably the better way to do it. I actually have one of the this right here, like partner,
okay,
and I'm just going to get this out right now.
okay, you're getting,
And it has it's a very quick psychoactive response that lasts for about 3 minutes. And I'm just going to, the simplest way to do it is to stimulate the frog, and by doing, I touch its upper nose.
okay,
And a lot of people may not know this, but the frog does have a nose.
yes,
And once you stimulate that, it releases it, and I have to do this very quickly, so I'm sorry. And then I lick it. And then in about 25 seconds, I will be very... Hold on.
Doctor, are you going to have a hallucinogenic?
Oh, my. And it starts to kick in very quickly.
Okay, so this is a really quick
my.
acting.
Oh.
Now, doctor, are you in any pain, or is this a?
Oh, my.
It sounds like it's just a sensory. Oh, um. Okay, doctor, I'm gonna have to let you go. Doctor, can we hang up on the doctor? Can we hang up? Well, it's. Why can I never? Hello,
I'm so sorry.
doctor. Are you back from your thing? And she hung up on me. Well, I don't really know what to say after that experience. I think Doctor whatever her name, Susan Carbuncle, was having a sort of psychedelic trip on after licking the bullfrog, and it's to me it's kind of fishy as to whether she's actually doing research or just trying to get her jollies on a Friday night. But interesting nonetheless to experience that over the phone. We're going to go to our third and final expert of the night, and this is actually it doesn't technically fall under the definition of this expert edition of Advice with Andrew, but we're going to go to Big Joe, who is a sort of local expert in lifting and selling computer software. So we're going to get a mix of different expertise tonight from Big Joe in Eagan, Minnesota. Big Joe, are you there? Big Joe, it sounds like you're in the middle of a set again.
Up to 15.
Yep, up to 15.
I can't get it.
So is your son helping you tonight on your lifting?
Damn it. What is that? Hold on one second.
Okay.
I'm going up to, yeah, you're going to have to fill it up. Right now, I got 2 big water jugs, and we're filling that up with sand on one side and water on the other side.
Okay.
And I'm attempting to do a lift right now that I haven't done since, there's a picture of me hanging up in my bar. We got down in my basement, we got like a little bar.
Right.
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 One second.
Okay. Now.
There's only about 7 people in the picture, and this is my high school football team. I always look at that when I'm about ready to lift, all right?
Okay.
And I'm one of the guys on the team is suffering from a very bad, going through a bad divorce, and some of the guys, me, Jack, Herbie, and all the other guys, we have 4 people in the picture.
So you're actually doing a lift to
It's a lift-a-thon. It's a lift-a-thon.
a liftathon, yes. Right, and
Well, basically, I'm doing this to help out my friend. He always liked lifting with me. He was the other guy in the picture that I just really like. And it's not, we're not going to get any money for this. We're not making
Well, so it seems like this. It,
We're doing this up with sand on one of the big, it's like one of those offices, if you're in an office, you got a water jug.
yeah,
It's a 5 gallon.
one of those Culligan 5 gallons.
Yeah, that's right. And we're doing one side up with sand and the other side up with water. And I'm about ready to throw this up. Yeah, a little bit more sand. We're filling it up with sand right now.
Well, while you're finishing filling that up, I'd just like to.
You're going to need a funnel for that. I'm sorry if I'm distracting.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to tell our listeners while Big Joe and his friend Jack Cullivan are there filling up the last of the water barrels with sand and water. As Big Joe mentioned, this liftathon isn't really raising money, but we can all tell that it's a very kind act, and it's really raising the bar, if you pardon the pun, on giving back to friends and.
I'm just about ready to do this now.
Okay, so we're gonna listen to Big Joe's lift.
Do you have a computer set up right now?
I do.
How much is 5 gallons of water? How much is that weigh? How much is 5 gallons of sand weigh? I have no idea.
5 gallons of water.
Yeah. One of the big bottles is just good, like with just straight tap water, and the other is just basic sand that we got. It's more dirt than sand, but it's from the backyard here. I'm just wondering how much it weighs.
Well, basically, it's gonna weigh about 40 pounds. There's about 8 pounds per gallon of water, so you're lifting about 40 pounds in the water jug, and then the sand, depending on how dense it is, it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 pounds. So you're probably lifting only about 80 pounds.
How much is that?
About 80.
If you plus those two together.
Yeah, if you add 40 and 40, you're gonna get 80.
Whatever. The bar itself, you're probably not factoring in the bar too.
Okay, well the bar is usually about 45 pounds, so you're looking at about 125 pounds you're lifting.
Hold on, Ernie's looking at me like I can't lift it.
He's looking at you like you can't. Well, Joe, I've personally seen you lift multiples of this amount of weight, so I'm sure you can.
Hold on, I'm about ready to do. Yeah, you like this? I'm gonna lift my shirt up like this. Hold on. Ernie, you like that? Watch this. Yeah. I can't quite do it, but everyone's laughing back there. Hopefully you don't get a laughing in the background, Andrew, but I tried to lift my shirt, but
Hulk Hogan style?
no, not, Ernie said I'd lift my pants before I lift my shirt, but hold on.
Oh.
If I would do it, good. Hold on.
Oh, I'm holding on.
And I got you on speakerphone right now, Andrew. And I'm just doing, like I said, I'm doing this for a good friend. He's going through a tough time.
Okay.
Going through a tough time right now.
Well, we can definitely appreciate that.
I'm doing it for him.
Okay. Well,
I'm
big.
sorry if I'm getting a little choked up. He's becoming like a little, I call him a Jake Gyllenhaal. Anyone who starts laughing, I call him Jake Gyllenhaal because of that broke mountain.
Right.
I don't want to crack up like a Jake Gyllenhaal.
You're referring to Brokeback Mountain. Yeah.
And he's good fun. And he's the third. There's another guy in the football picture, and he's the third guy that's standing.
Okay. Well, Big Joe, before you lift, I just want to say a couple words of advice that you actually gave me when I was lifting with you one time. You told me to sneeze beef and puke metal. So if you just take those words and lift the bar here, we'll be rooting for you.
I'm doing the food step right now. It's a little unheated. And, hold on. All right, I'm going to set the bar back down to it.
Who's holding the phone?
What's that?
Who's holding the phone?
I'm on speakerphone right now.
It's just taped to your chest or something?
It's set up on the stool in the corner room. Hold on. Can you add a little bit more dirt to that side?
I thought it's sand, right? Yep.
Well, and make sure it's kind of pea rocks
Okay.
There's just you. And Andrew, I'm gonna have to. That's about as much I. You guys are giving me a round of applause. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Andrew, thanks for giving me a time. I'm gonna. All right, thanks, Andrew. Talk to you later. Bye.
well, that was Big Joe, and it seems like he was in the middle of a nice liftathon for his friend, who unfortunately was in a rare trombone orchestra accident that we won't go into the details, but he doesn't really have the use of his arms anymore or his legs. Um, but Joe's liftathon, Big Joe's liftathon, this might become an annual event here. And I think Big Joe there was lifting about, if my math is correct, if there were some grass clippings and water and a little sand, he might have been only lifting around 110 pounds, but that's besides the point. It's a liftathon. It's for a good cause. So thanks Big Joe for filling us in on the lift you were doing and raising the bar for charitable causes. That's going to do it for this version of Advice with Andrew. And we'll definitely be back here on the AP podcast. Thank you for listening.